Welcome back to the finish line in association with Betterman.com. For all the latest odds for the world leading bookmakers, head over to Betterman.com. So this video we're going to concentrate on the Irish racing on Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to kick off with the Redmills Chase at Gowran Park. Tom, this has lost a lot of spice.
It really has, yeah. And I'd say, unfortunately for Gowran, I'd say they'll lose a lot of the crowd. This was going to be a fascinating race. It presented Percy turned up. He made a great comeback there in the Galmoy, and they said it was full steam ahead. I can't see there being an issue with the ground. It's yielding to soft, and it definitely won't be good anyway. It'll be yielding at least at worst. Look, I don't know why they haven't turned up with him, but he's
Makes
surely
you suspicious, really, don't they?
Look, it doesn't. Well, it surprises me a little bit, but not too much because this has happened before with the horse. But you'd imagine they're going to have to go straight to the Gold Cup now.
Off the back of a hurdle run.
Look, it's probably not ideal, is it? But
no.
But I don't know. I'm disappointed. I really wanted to see him go and win this or run well and then go to Cheltenham. But look, he's not going to. So I think that leaves it set up for who was going to be his closest rival in Monalee. I think this is probably the right trip for this horse, actually.
Yeah, he's not a 3 miler.
I don't think he's an out-and-out 3 miler. He didn't seem to get home the last day at Cheltenham against presenting Percy in the RSA. He ran very well behind, in saying that, he ran very well behind Kenboy.
He did.
In the Novice Chase.
I think this run out of crawl, look.
Yeah, it was, and that probably shouts about that form, actually. If you do like I do think Monalee is a 2.5 miler and isn't an out 3 mile stayer, that says a lot about that form, which is why I'm not a Kenboy fan for the Gold Cup at all. He's been second at 2 Cheltenham festivals, Monalee. You can't take it away from him. He's a very good horse. I think he will win this now, and I think he'll go for the Ryanair. I think he'll have a good chance of being at least placed in that.
I agree.
Look, the rest of them, Vic, before they said they were going to stick to hurdling, I think they've just wanted to split him and Bachasson up. And you can see Willie at his computer, can't you, at 2 minutes to 10, going, 4 declared, which one? I'll run one of them. So he's going to run Vic in this. That's fine, I can't have him. I don't think he's the horse of old, and I think his jumping does let him down. You worry about the poor thing. You do.
That was very.
You do. I don't like seeing him fall. Annabelle Fly is a stayer. This is a prep for the Gold Cup. This isn't his trip. Yeah. He was fourth. What was he? 4th in the National, 3rd in the Gold Cup. And the other one is Ed Wolf, who has struggled since winning the Irish Gold Cup last year. Yeah. Monalee will bolt up, won't he?
Yeah, he will. Let's be honest about it. He's the only proper 2.5 miler in the race. Yeah. And even on class wise, he does look above him. Yeah,
I think so. I think he's
Ed Wolf stayer, Annabelle Fly stayer, Claude Vic stays on the ground.
Yeah. Oh no! Don't be mean.
I'm not being mean. I'm saying facts.
I know. I like
him as well. But you just
know he's going to throw himself at one of them. The only thing is he's got to give Annabelle Fly and Kultovic £7, but I think he'd be able to. Yeah, Monalee for me.
Yeah, Monalee for me as well. So we'll go stick at Gowran and go to the Redmills Hurdle. That is also not great.
It's a weak renewal of this race now. Forge Meadow won it last year. Is very consistent, but it's far from top class. Far Class won the Triumph last year, disappointed in open company, as
typical Triumph horses
those 4-year-olds tend to when they turn 5 into open company. And top all that off, he's got a grade 1 penalty, so he's got to give everything £10.
Oh, Jesus.
So that gives his chance it gives him no chance really in my book. Rashan, oh my God, did you see him at Dundalk?
Oh, what a mule.
Oh, he has gone sour with the game. He refused to race at Fairy House. And just didn't want to run the straight line at Dundalk. It's a shame because he's been a lovely horse, but I don't know, he needs to change the scenery or something. But he looks not in love with the game at all at the minute. Course of Blime's an interesting one. 4-year-old, gets a lot of weight, runs off 10 stone free. Was going to go close last time until he fell.
Excuse me, he was going to win.
Yeah, he probably was. Look, they never win unless they stand up, but he was going to go very close. Interesting that he runs in this. I think he's got to step up a little bit, but
just a bad race.
It's interesting they go here with him. I think normally you tend to keep 4-year-olds to their own grade, their own age group, but he's stepping into this. Probably says what a weak race it is that they're willing to do that. The one for me though is Darasso. I like him. He goes back in trip after his 5th in the Galmoy behind presenting Percy. I think that'll suit him. And I think he's a very unexposed horse for Joseph O'Brien. And I think he's the one for me. I think he'll take a bit of beating in this.
Yeah, I'm on course of blind. On the fact of his weight allowance and that the fact Gordon Elliott is throwing him in against old opposition. He was going to win around Leprosy. Yeah. Let's be honest, he was.
He probably was.
He was going to win.
And you don't jump, man. But he probably was.
I thought you said you don't like seeing horses fall.
I don't.
You're putting the mockers on this fella already.
I know. I'm not putting the mockers on. I'm not saying he won't jump round, but
do you know who he reminds me of in the same colours? Mega Fortune.
Yeah.
And out and out dirty stare. But he's running over 2 miles, I know. Yeah, just something about him. I like him. I think, as you said, it's between him and Darasso. Farclas, that grade 1 penalty is going absolutely murdering. Forge Meadow looks a shell of a horse that he was last year.
Yeah, she'll run her race, but...
And Rashan just looks like he wants to go out in the field for the day.
Yeah.
And the other two have no hope.
Yeah, I mean, if Forge Meadow was really, really fancied here, Robbie Power would be going over to Ascot. Yeah. I think he'd be staying here to ride him, so... her even. So, yeah, look, it's a weak race, but I'd side with Darasso.
I'd side with Course of Blind. Yeah, so next we'll go on to the Boyne Hurdle.
The Boyne Hurdle.
Let's ask the director. Do we have time? We have time. The director said we have time. Now on to the Boyne Hurdle on Sunday in Navan. Tom, what do you make of this one?
This is an interesting race.
I like this one.
Yeah, this is better than the Redmills for me. Bachasson goes for this for Willie Mullins. He was entered in the Redmills Chase, but I like that he's going here.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Yeah, I prefer him. He's only a small little horse, and I prefer him over Hurdles, as my animal welfare is coming out in these videos today, obviously. He's a nice horse. I'm a real bit of a soft spot for Bachasson.
He's a decent little horse, isn't he?
Yeah, he goes under the radar. I think because he's small and he hasn't turned up for many of the massive days. But another horse I really like, but was on the comeback run and was well beaten, and jury is out now, is Cracking Smart. He's beaten 100 lengths by Apple's Jade and was beaten a long, long way out. He's a lovely horse. I just like to see him come on for that. The winner of the cross-country chase at Cheltenham runs in the Boyne Hurdle on Sunday. On the Tiger roll, Keith Donoghue gets back on him. This thing is a certainty for that cross-country. I've been through the cross-country again this week. Ballycasey was getting tipped everywhere for it. I was at Mick Fitzgerald and Nats for Cheltenham. I think.
Is he still running a punch though? Still up this summer.
I know. Look, okay. The only thing I'd give him is the Banks course at Punchestown is different to the cross country course at Cheltenham. There's a lot of jumping onto Banks and jumping off of them where there isn't at Cheltenham. However, he was tailed off. Didn't travel, didn't jump, didn't look in love of it at all.
He never stayed 3 miles properly on the track.
No,
how the hell is he going to stay 4 miles?
Yeah. So anyway, we've been through it. The only horse that might have a chance of getting anywhere near him is that French horse. However, this will put Tiger O spot on and get on Fill Your Boots nap of Cheltenham. You heard it here first. I
like it.
Other interesting horse in this race is the Charles Burns horse. Off You Go. Won at Leopardstown off a mark of 143. He goes up in trip, but I think that's okay for him because he won over 2 mile 4 on heavy ground. This is a lovely progressive horse. Yeah. I'm surprised they actually ran him the last day. I thought he could have gone to Cheltenham for a handicap.
He looked like a handicap lot. That's a real
He did. He's off 151 now. He'll get more for going to the festival. So, this is interesting where they go with him now. There's no real middle distance hurdle at Cheltenham. Whether they keep him for Aintree, or whether they step him up or down in trip. But if he goes and wins this, he's going to have a proper chance of running in something. But he's a lovely progressive horse. For me, it's between him and Bachasson, and I might just side with Off You Go.
Very good.
You're going to agree with me.
No, I'm not.
I'm going to tip Tiger O.
Can I? Nah, Bachasson. Nah, I'm all over Bachasson in this. I think he has the class angle in this, 100%. He'll go off favourite. He'll win by 6 lengths, head in his chest. Watch.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Off you go then.
Hey!
We'll see what prices these open up, but Off You Go would be favourite.
Think so?
Yeah. There won't be any price up yet, but Off You Go would be favourite.
Like, if you go back through, so he beat Fallafur by 24 lengths, Atwa Phil by 13. He fell in the Gold Cup last year. He beat Drakos 2 1/4 lengths on his comeback run.
I do see your case for him. But anyway, I'm Off You Go, you're Bachasson.
I'm Bachasson. So the last one we look at is the Grade 2 Novice Chase at Navan. Tom?
Not the greatest race in the world again. For me, it's focused around 2 who met last time when there was only a length and a quarter between them. Chris's Dream and Champagne Classic. Chris's Dream was impressive and maiden hurdle for Eugene O'Sullivan in Limerick last year. It was then bought for 175 grand by Henry de Bromhead for the Robcore outfit. Bolted up then at Clonmel one day. Really nice horse. I really do like him. I also really like Champagne Classic, who won at the festival, and then I think he won at Aintree as well. Open to correction, but
he won Punchestown.
Punchestown?
Won the grade 1.
But for me, it's between these two. I'm just going to go with the angle that Champagne Classic was off for 641 days before their run the last day. He was only beaten a length and a quarter. He might just improve past him this time. So yeah, Champagne Classic.
I think you're right.
As always.
Jesus Christ, if it worked 2 days, he gets really cocky all of a sudden. Yeah, I agree with Tom. The length of time he was off and he was only a length and a quarter behind Chris's Dream, you'd expect him to improve past that.
Yeah, you would.
Especially with his back class and graded in that grade hurdle win at Punchestown, where we said in the festival preview, the likes of Albon Folk and Percy Monalee were all behind him.
Yeah.
If any of them ran in this after a layoff, you'd have him short price favourite.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be strong fancy that Champagne Classic will win.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Good show.
Yeah, so that's our weekend previews done. Sorry, Jesus. Sorry. Tom, Dundalk. Nearly got shot.
Dundalk. We've had a bit of success at Dundalk recently.
We have. Well, you have.
Well, yeah, Edification bolted up. I can't wait for him to run again. There's another race in that lad. Nothing as strong as Edification for this week, but 2 to give a mention. 1, 6 o'clock at Dundalk, a horse called Izzy Bale Grey. Prolific winner there. Shot up the handicap. Won this time last year off a mark of 74. Is down to 63 now. He's been dropped £8 since the end of last year. This brings in some form. The matches with Edification. The Edification was beat, I think. And Goulet Barra, who's gone on and won again. That form of the two of them, their races at the minute, I think is very strong. They're both really progressive horses. Hood on for the first time. I don't know if that's going to help him. It's just something different though. He's getting an older horse now. Something different might help him. He's going to win him off a mark of this at some stage. Now, what price is he? 6 to 1?
6 to 1.
Look, there's not a lot of value there, but it's not the worst price in the world.
6 to 1 is 6 to 1, let's be honest.
It is, yeah. He actually got he got a bit of a bad run the last day as well. He got stopped when he was coming with his challenge. He wouldn't have won, don't get me wrong. But they take the cheap pieces, everything off him tonight, and they put the hood on him. And he did get stopped in his run the last day. It's not the greatest of races. He is only 6 to 1. I'd prefer bigger than that. If I was going to get stuck into him, I'd prefer bigger than that. But he'll win at some stage. The other horse is in the 8:30 at Dundalk tonight, Yarraman, horse of Pat Flynn's, nearly led from start to finish the last day. Was about 6 or 7 lengths clear turning in. Looked then, you thought he might get swallowed up if he'd gone too fast, but only one horse called Chaparral Dream got to him, who's a progressive horse of Aidan McGuinness's and was due a win. That was 1 mile 4, comes back to 1 mile 2 tonight. He's been punted is the only thing. He was fancy prices last night.
11's into 11 to 2.
I got on, don't have the time, but I got on. Yeah, he should win this, I think. There's not a lot of pace in this race. He's going to go forward. And another horse that we tipped on the podcast a few weeks ago was Spanish Dawn, lovely mare of John McConnell's and Wayne Lorden rides. I'd fancy her, and she's actually drifting now at the prices. I'd nearly be backing her each way because she'll run her race. The only issue with her for me in this race is she's a hold-up horse. She needs to be settled. She needs to come with a late run. There's no pace in it. That's my worry for her. But there is more races in Spanish Dawn. Yeah, she's got a good chance as well. It'd be between the two of those for me.
Forecast.
Yeah, wouldn't put you off it.
There you go. There's a Dubai fund.
Yeah. Wouldn't put you off it, but Yarraman, there's a race in him. He's unexposed after mark 45. They were clear of the rest as well when Chaparral Dream got to him. Nothing else got to him.
Yeah.
There's no pace in this race. If he gets an easy lead, I can see the same happening again over a mile 2. Nothing, don't get me wrong, nothing as strong as Edification now was a couple of weeks ago, but I'll be on my way to Clare tonight checking the phone like I was with Edification one. And if I had 2 winners, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
That's the
I hope 2 of them win. So that's us done for this week, and we'll see you Monday with the review.